Okay, like I mentioned before, what we're talking about today is exactly what we just practiced on the warm-up, ratios and proportions. Now they go hand in hand, but they mean two different things. So write your ratio. So ratio, if two quantities are measured in the same units, that's key. Then the ratio is always a fraction. So highlight this. This is really important. Ratios, for the most part, are the same units. And when I say units, that's like inches, feet, miles. They're measured in the same thing. And if it's just a ratio, it's just one fraction. So the ratio would be like A over B. Okay, those are just variables. You're like, what the? I don't know what that means. That's just like 1/2 or 2/3 or 7/8. Just one ratio, one fraction. Okay, now if it's a proportion, it has to have two ratios that are equal. So ratio, one thing, same units. Proportion, two equal fractions. So for example, for a proportion, we could have 1/2 equals, hand in there, give me something that a half equals. Tyler, what is it? 2/4 would totally work. Is that the only one that works? There's tons and tons, right? Can be 50 over 100. 1/2 equals 50 over 100. Or 1/2 equals 4 over 8. Or 1/2 equals 8 over 16. You can just go crazy with that. Those are all proportions because they equal the same thing. Does that make sense? So ratio, one of them with the same units. Proportion to equal ratios. Okay, the next two vocab words in your notebook we're going to skip because we really hit on them tomorrow. So save those. We'll explain them. Right to examples. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so right here, the direction seems super simple. All it says is simplify the ratio. I find that a little bit misleading because ratios have to have the same what, guys? Units. Thanks for saying units. So letter A, do those have the same units? Unfortunately not. So we've got to convert them first, and then we can simplify. Now, I took a picture of this up here. This isn't in your notes, this metric conversions. I got it from the Math 7 reference sheet. They have this on their reference sheet. You guys don't. But it's super helpful with these ones. So since you guys don't have it, I actually copied their reference sheet to the back of today's assignment, so you can use it too. So watch. It's not too bad as long as you know how to use the conversion chart. Let's take kilograms and change them to grams. So we're going to make a proportion. Keep the 800 grams. But up here we're going to change kilograms to grams. Okay, you ready? Don't blink. So we're going from kilograms to grams. So all you have to do is take your pen, take your pencil, and find kilograms. It's far where, guys? Far left. Right here, yeah? And then you got to find grams. Where is it? In the middle. Okay, you ready? So you can point with your pencils if you want. We're starting here because we're going from kilograms. We're ending here to grams. So you just got to count the boxes. How many boxes does it take? 1, 2, 3. Do you see that? 3 movements which way though? 3 to the right? Okay, that's key. 3 to the right. So what you do is you take your decimal on this and you move it 3 to the right. Where's the decimal on 16? After. We don't write it because it's after, right? So here's the decimal. Bounce it 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. What do you put in these blank spots? Zeros. There you go. So it's 16,000 grams and 16 kilograms. Okay, do you have that written down on your notes? Okay, now you've got to simplify. This is totally a personal choice. It's a preference. I know how I simplify, but it depends how you simplify. Okay, try it first and then we'll talk about it. How are you going to simplify 16,000 over 800? Okay, you ready for some tricks? First off, I'm super nice to myself when I get rid of the zeros. Gone, gone. So now I'm just simplifying 160 over 8. How many of you, I do the zero trick also. Do you get rid of the zeros? Be nice to yourself. All right, then fractions are just really division problems in disguise. That line means divide. So grab your calculators, type it in. 160 divided by 8, or do it in your head. What's 16 divided by 8? 2 out of 0. We've got to leave it as a ratio. That'll be your final answer. How many of you got that far before I showed you the examples? Good job. Again, there are other tricks to it, so don't feel like you have to do it this way. If you know how you like to simplify, go for it. Okay, letter B. Letter B, I didn't give you any hints. I'm hoping you know how many feet are in a yard. Hold up your fingers. How many feet are in 1 yard? Perfect. There's 3. Okay, but we don't have 1 yard. We have how many yards? Okay. With my 7th graders, they get totally backwards and flustered. They can't remember if they're supposed to do 21 times 3 or 21 divided by 3. So I really work hard at 21 yards. Is that a lot of feet or a little feet? It'd be a lot. So what makes it bigger, timesing or dividing? So you gotta times it by 3 to compare that one, right? So times this by 3. Keep the 7 feet up top. Change this one to feet. 21 times 3, what is it, guys? What is it? There you go, 63. I thought I heard 66. Okay, now they're the same unit. Now you can simplify. So what goes in 7? What goes in 63? Use your calculators. That's totally fine. Okay, tell the person next to you, what did you get for your final answer on this one? Okay, nice and loud. Tell me, what did you get?
1 9.
Guys, good job. 1 9. How many of you got that? I'm impressed. Good job, good job. Okay, let's go to the next part. Oh, this one, let's just do this one together. It's kind of meaty. There's lots going on in this. The only thing they give us in this example is the perimeter. Perimeter total is 56 centimeters. All right. Guys, how do you find the perimeter of something? I think it's one word with 3 letters. Yes, you add up the sides. So we know all those sides added up together equal 56. But they didn't tell us the measure of the sides. They just said this is L, that's W, and that's W. So let's write it out just in variables first. So how many letter L's do we have? So let's just put 2 L's plus how many W's? 2 W's. Add them all up, and what did they equal? 56. Okay, we can at least get that far. Then they tell you the ratio of the sides. They don't say the sides equal this. They just say the ratio of the sides is 4 to 3. Okay, are you ready? So to use that ratio of the sides, JK to KL, just stick it in the middle. I'll show you. So we're going to take out the L, take out the W, and we're going to put in the ratio. So instead of writing L, they said the ratio of JK is 4. Okay, but we don't know, it's not saying L, it's not saying length is 4, it's just saying the ratio of it. So we still don't know the side. So let's call the side X. It would just be 4X's, whatever X is, we don't know what it is. So the width is going to be 3 something. We don't know what it is, it's just saying the ratio of it is 3 something, so let's just use X for our something. There's your setup. Now you just got to be careful with your algebra. Okay, you ready? Okay, so what's 2 times 4? Perfect, so we've got 8x's right here. Plus 2 times 3. 6x's right here. Okay, keep going. You can finish this. You guys are good at these problems. Don't be nervous, use your calculator. Okay, show me with your fingers, what's your final answer? Yay, fingers, totally 4, good work. Good work. Okay, let's go to the next example. We're in the middle of the next page. Oh, it's another conversion. Okay, so we've got that teeny tiny box up at the top. Kilometers, meters. Guys, don't be nervous that you, well, I don't know about you, but I do not have these memorized. Why? Because I don't live in Europe, so I don't use them all the time. I don't remember stuff unless I use it. So don't hesitate to use the conversion chart. So right here, let's keep the 200 meters. Well, let's change the top to meters. So you're going from kilometers to meters. So up here, here's kilometers. Here's meters. How far over? part, guys? 3 which way? 3 to the right. 3 to the right tells you how to move the decimal. Go for it. Try it on your own. Move that decimal 3 to the right. I'm going to repeat the question into the mic. Guys, it doesn't matter. If you want to change these both to kilometers, you totally can do that too. You'll get the same thing. All right, 3 to the right, so it was 5. 1, 2, 3, so 5,000. Okay, simplify it. You've got this, you've got this. Use your tricks, use your calculator, whatever makes sense to you. I'm a 0 person. Get rid of those. Oh, nice. Guys, what's 50 divided by 2? 25, but we still have to write it as a ratio. So just put 25. How many got that? Did you get that? Okay, same thing with this next part. It's on the back of today's assignment in case you need it. 40 ounces to pounds, you've got to find the conversion. Find the one that talks about ounces and pounds. So it's on there. Has anybody found it yet? Where is it? Oh, I see it. Do you guys see it? Is it close to the top or the bottom? More to the bottom, right? Right here. You'd want to use this one. 16 ounces, 1 pound. Okay, now Taylor's question, how do we know ounces or pounds? This one, Taylor, I'd probably do pounds because it would be a lot nicer for myself. Because I know 1 pound is 16 ounces, so I think that would be, this is 1 pound. Each finger is a pound, so 16, 16, 16, 16, 16. I just grabbed my calculator. 16 times 5. So I'll have 40 ounces over, hey, is that just 80? Oh, yes, that's super convenient. Guys, shout out nice and loud. What's the simplified ratio? Perfect. Worked out great. Okay, I'm interested. Will you put your heads down, cover your eyeballs? Don't look at me. Don't look at each other. How many of you, I get the conversions. Does that make sense to you? Bouncing decimal or timing dividing. Perfect, hands down. How many of you, I'm kind of lost. I'm still kind of confused by those. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Heads up. Let's go to the next part. Okay, this one. Guys, you did this on the warm-up, so I'm pretty dang confident you understand this. So when it comes to proportions, when it comes to ratios, you can cross-multiply. Multiply the ones that are literally across from each other, excuse me. So you'll have 80 equals BC. And even if you flip those fractions upside down, you'll still get the same thing. So that's why you can flip them upside down. So it was AB over B. If you flip it to B over A, it'll be the same as long as you flip the other side. Okay, flip to the page. At the top of the next page. Okay, this one. Seems super easy, but I see little mistakes on this one. So watch and let me know if you have questions. So it's exactly what we just talked about. Like the warm-up with one extra step. So multiply the ones that are across from each other. So this times this. 8 times t would just be 8t. But then, this times this is where I see silly mistakes. Okay, that 3 is timesing by everything. It's timesing t and positive 4. So it's like this. And then this is a property. Does anybody know what property this is when 3's on the outside? Knocking on the door. Ali, what is it? Don't forget to distribute that 3 inside. So 3 has to be times by the t and the 4. So we still have 8t on this side. 3 times t is just t. Bring down your plus sign. And then 3 times 4 is 12. Once you've distributed it, then go for it. Solve it. Thanks for showing all your steps. Looks good. Alright, subtract 3t from both sides. Looks like we'll probably get a fraction or a decimal. Divide by 5 on both sides. Let's see. 12 divided by 5 will go 2 times. With 2 out of 5 left over. 2 out of 5 in money. Is it 0.4? Yeah. Sweet. 2.4, final answer. Okay, we've only done one example like that. How many of you, I think I get that. Even though we've only done one example, does that make sense to you? The process of it? Okay. They added some more, which might not be in your notes. Let's look at the next one. This one, not in your notebook. So we find a margin. Let's do this one together. I want to make sure you're okay with the distributive property. So right here, let's do 6 times this whole thing. So we've got 6 times y minus 7. And then do 5 times this whole entire thing. Okay, try it on your own first. So distribute this 6. That would just be 6y minus 6 times 7, 42. This side, 5 times y is 5y, plus 5 times 4 is 20. Alright, I would probably just subtract 5y first. Oh, that's convenient. So when you subtract 5y, you're just left with 1y. And then we can just add the 20, add the 42 to the 20. How many of you got 62 for your final answer? Yes. Okay, let's do one more like that and call it good. Try this one. You're on your own. Good luck. Okay, how many of you are at least this far? Did you at least get that far? Perfect. Subtract 5y, add 21. Trick that I might see when I correct stuff like this, think of this as a negative 15. So negative 15 plus 21. How many got 6 for this? Sweet. Good job, good job. Let's do the same thing. Wait, put your hands down really quick. Cover your eyeballs. How many of you, I get those ones. Major distributive property, does that make sense to you? Great, hand down. How many of you, I'm still kind of lost on that. Wouldn't mind some help. Perfect, thank you so much. Okay, let's do one more example. What if you have story problems? For example, this car. So a model was made of the car, but nice and loud, guys. How long was the model? Key long. How long is it? Right here. Okay, and then how tall was it? Okay, keyword tall. Keep those in mind, because it will tell us the setup. Okay, then when you go to the actual car, what does it tell us about the actual car? What's the keyword on that one? Tall. That's how I know what to set up. So on this, it doesn't matter if you go model to actual or whatever. So let's start with the model and then compare it to the actual using ratios. So the model was 10 long, 5 tall, right? I'm going to put 10 long, 5 tall. It helps to keep track of what you're comparing. Because on this side, it has to be the same units. It has to be long over tall. So I write that first, and then I go back to my story problem and I fill it in. So we've got 10 long, 5 tall. Where does this 60 go then? Numerator or denominator? It has to go denominator because it's the tall. So 60 goes here, x goes here, and now it's like the warm-up questions. You can totally cross multiply. Maybe you can do this in your head. So what's 60 times 10? 600, but do you know what 600 divided by 5 is? Let's see, 60 divided by 5 is 12, right? So wouldn't it be 120? Yeah. How many of you got that?